Okay. Hello, I'm back yet, still selling lake water filters. We've come up with some that seem to work real good, and we've set them as our main filters. This is the simplest one. This will sit on a cement block and tie her down with one of these Ziploc things, or to hold them in place onto the cement block so that the wave action won't wash it off and keep it in place. We still use this opening to put your check valve through, like this here, and that goes in here, and this strip will keep it in place. And that works the same way with this one. And these are for probably where you got just a shallow place. You don't have a lot of water where you want to put it under your dock. So they would work good in about 2 feet of water and give you enough. And as long as you can tie them down to a cement block, that'll keep them in place so the wave action won't move them. And they'll always get pretty good water. This one where you got a lot of weeds is one that's used there, so the water isn't restricted by a thick weed bed. Now we've gone to 2 to give you more flow. These each will handle 15 gallons a minute. When together, these will do 30 gallons of water in suction. These are put together, and one of the best ways to do them with P-rock in here, and P-rock put this in the center, and you use 1/4 inch P-rock is what this is. I have stringed it out with a screen board similar to this, like this. Works real good for, that's got 1/4 inch or 1/8 inch opening screen, and if you take the P-rock you get from a gravel pit or something, it might have a lot of sand in it, so pour it through here and wash out the sand and keep whatever stays in here for your mixture. That'll keep it more flow by the water through the P-rock, and it looks about like this when it's all clean. This P-rock is inside the filters, and if you fill it up all around in these pails, you get an added additional filtering, and the P-rock will heavy enough to keep it in position under your dock, and so it doesn't move with wave action and so on. Also, as you notice, these are set up in 2 ways. This is the horizontal discharge, and this has the vertical discharge. This might you want to put it where you put deeper water and you're going to run your suction line along the bottom of the dock. This would give you a straight up action, and you drop your suction line down into here. If you go to a bigger size suction line, like this is 1 1/4 inches, so this can only go in so far, because it only sucks through the ends, and you've got to suck from both of them. So this would have to be in plastic, another piece of plastic pipe to cut your length. And to keep it tight on top, you could use this into the plastic. This is a 2 inch. You'd cut out the top, the same diameter as your pipe that's going down in, and that would have to go on to this before you could thread it into there. So before you put any fittings on this pipe going down, you'd have to have it through there. That would lock down over the pipe, and just with screws you can hold it in place, and that'll keep any leakage from around the... You could also put an O-ring around it too to make it snugger, fit on top. That's one way of doing that. We recommend this one. This is the simplest operation for low flow, up to 15 gallons a minute or better you can handle. That's a 3/4 inch pipe with this type of Brady check valve. That can come in to the side of this one. You can go past there, and then we use this system here for locking it in. You'd have a piece here. All of these pieces are fastened with just a small screw drilled on. That way it can all come apart and you can clean the system out. Then this is what we use around the smaller pipe, this foam, and put this on. That can go in there. This slips on over the pipe like this, and this foam goes into the pipe around it, and this, tighten this up, zip it in, and it'll keep it in place. When you have to pull it out again, you probably have to cut this off with a scissor or a wire cutter or something, and to remove it. But this can all come apart there too when you take it apart, so that should work pretty good. The latest thing I thought of was to get more usage out of this, to get more gallonage. You can take this one here, this type here, we take it apart. They're easy to pull apart, so I guess I gotta get it screwed out. This is a little sticky now, but once you get a hold of it, you get a hold of it. You take this one apart, and we take it apart on the top. Like this. Now we can put this in and just reverse it in this way. This would go in this way. This would go in like this, together like this. Then we want to get more flow. So we go with this method. We put a T like this in between these two, and then we put this like this and together. And now we've got 4 of these units put together, and then you can put a length in here. With this combination, you could pump 60 gallons a minute. It's 4 times the 15. And you got the P-rock around it. They're going to be held in place. Like, to keep it in place, you could use this, drill a couple of holes, one hole on this side and one there, hook them over like this, keep them down. They'll probably, the P-rock that you put on top and around it will also support it, but this is just additional support. This you can adjust downward to catch your foot valve coming up into it, and run this along the bottom of the lake under your dock to the shore. And I've even thought, rather than this, if you want to get still more, a piece like this would give you enough for 1 more barrel. So you could, theoretically, you'd get 90 gallons a minute of flow with there if you keep your check valve in just this far. So you've got this together, this one, and 1 more pail over here. So there's ways of making it give you all the flow you need, and that's just 1 more fitting like this that you can get at a hardware store where I bought it just today. So that's some of the new ways of doing things with this, and I think you'll get a lot more water, and it's easier to keep clean. Thank you.
Okay, okay, and then couple questions. So what are the, how can could anybody make this, or why are these different than other filters?
Well, these filters are made, if you look close up at this one, this has slots that are 16/1000ths of an inch, and there's enough slots of opening, it equals a 2 by 2 inch square opening with that. So you've got that much free water coming in. The inside one is set up the same way. That's a 2-inch pipe, but it's got slots that are closer together. We can pull one apart and show you what they look like inside. There, it's coming apart already. This you just take off, and then you take, before you take it apart and it's full, you pour it into here like this, into a pail, and you can take this apart, and for cleaning, you can clean all these slots with a brush.
So you got slots on there too.
Right.
And then the P-rock goes on the outside of that inner tube, right?
Right.
Not on the inside though.
Not on the inside, this is always clear.
Okay.
And the way it's put together, these all fit the same way. That seems loose there, and this is loose enough, but it's tight enough to seal. You put them together like that, and then your next fitting holds it in place all the time. Because this 2-inch one is glued in real good, so it can't come loose. So you go from there with that. You go back to this. But this horizontal connection works good for getting more flow when you need it. And it keeps it pretty simple, and it's a lot easier. I had a bigger round one that had 5 filters together. It required a bigger pan, and that pan would have taken a lot more P-rock around it and would have been heavy to move and set up in the lake. This is easy. You can just pick them up like this and move them out of the way and pull them apart, and you just take this in and dump out that P-rock if you want to clean it. Lay it on a plastic sheet and spread it out and let the sun dry it out, and then you can probably blow some air on it to get all the dust away, and then you just put it back inside. I just normally use a little tin can to fill the shows in the pail. There's P-rock here, and it fills just to take one of these apart. This one loose, I guess. When you want to fill it up, you just take this one off, leave this one in place, and you fill it up like this. As you fill it, you keep it centered so that it'll go together when you fill it all up. That's good. Takes about 5 cans to fill it up. Then you just put this back on. You try to keep it centered, else it's a little harder to push this back together. So, there. Then you go down. If you're using just one alone, you just put this back on. Put your thing through there if you're using this just identical. And then it's ready to go. I've had a friend put one in, and he left it in the water all year in the North Dakota lake, which is kind of weedy and little algae growing, and he didn't have to clean it, so it went all season. This is a pretty easy part to install too. Just put your check valve down, push this down in the hole. The spongy rubber will seal it up nice and snug, and then this one here will go back in. Like that. When it's threaded up and tightened, that'll hold it in position so it can't pull out. The check valve catches there and it's fastened. You probably have to replace these zip strips when you do take it apart. Other than to pull the whole thing loose with the screws, you can do that just as well too. So that'll stay put right on the line then. I guess that's about all I got to show you today.
Okay.
Thank you, and appreciate your business. And so far I haven't had a complaining customer, and we've sold them throughout the United States, few into Canada. So there's still 10,000 lakes in Minnesota that need some of these, so I'll keep trying to keep up.
Okay.
Thank you.